noticed that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment. But when white people build an all-white neighborhood, all of a sudden they're the triple K.
You ever notice how white people always have something stupid to say? Or how we always pick the weakest and weirdest hills that we could possibly die on? Or we get an idea of making a video, we put no thought process behind what we're about to say, and we just get on here and spew at the mouth.
Hello guys, welcome once again to the channel. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great time. Now there is this question about whether whites really understand their history, because sometimes they look at black people and they think that they have equal opportunities with white counterparts. One thing is here, I came across this clip of a lady asking why when blacks create a black neighborhood, it is called empowerment. But then when whites create their own neighborhood, it is not considered as an empowerment. And this really begs the question, does a white person in America who live there think that the kind of situations they have are similar to that of black people? These people are not equal. There have been many things that have been done to really limit the progress and growth of black people in America. There are many instances where blacks wanted to grow, but they were limited by the laws that were created. Remember the redlining issues? Remember the issues of Jim Crow? They have never been allowed to progress without any obstacle. I want you to take a listen to this lady who was speaking about how black people have always gotten an easy pass and they have always been appreciated when they do little things, yet when whites do similar things, they are not appreciated. I want you to listen to her, then the reactions that she got for this video. Let's watch, then come back and share our thoughts in the end.
Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment? But when white people build an all-white neighborhood, all of a sudden they're the triple K.
You ever notice how white people always have something stupid to say? Or how we always pick the weakest and weirdest hills that we could possibly die on? Or we get an idea of making a video, we put no thought process behind what we're about to say, and we just get on here and spew at the mouth. And then play the victim when people call us out on it. It's the damnedest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. But let's talk about this. When you say black neighborhoods that are created, can you list them? Are you referring to like redlining and shit? Is that where you're getting at? Where Caucasians didn't want black people in their neighborhoods, so the government decided to push them to a certain section of whatever city or town or state they were in, and then put all kinds of liquor stores and drugs over there, and even sprinkle a little church on every corner next to a liquor store? Is that what you're referring to? Is that what you're referring to? Or are you talking about all the 100 plus race massacres that have taken place on U.S. soil when black people did once try and have their own everything, their own houses, their own communities, their own businesses, their own liquid assets they could potentially pass down to their family? And then white people got mad and destroyed everything and then never paid it back. Is that what you're referring to? Because, I mean, there's only a few examples that I could think of that I could pull out my back pocket to say, yeah, that KKK nickname was very well earned. Because this whole white supremacy argument that you're trying to make are the same people who destroyed places like this, 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 even places like this. I mean, there's plenty of examples I could pull from. Just understand that these are a few out of the 100 plus that have taken place in the United States. This conversation ain't what you want. I can assure you that. You're not educated enough. You need to pump the brakes on this dumb shit that you're saying. Because playing this whole victim about being called the KKK and not realizing that we're the ones who started the KKK to begin with baffles me. Step one should be think. Step two should be speak, not the reverse. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this KKK nickname is something that we've well earned. Because coming up with drawings and fucking poems to depict our hatred for black people is absolutely every bit of our culture. It is the culture for Caucasians. So yeah, the KKK nickname, absolutely well earned. I mean, why wouldn't black people want to have their own away from Caucasians? What have we given them to make them want to be around us? Answer that, snowflake. Because this damn show don't help. I'm going to keep giving you all types of receipts as to why black people want to have their own away from white people and do call it black empowerment, because historically they haven't been given the basic human rights or power as we have or that they deserve. So why wouldn't they want to get away for their own empowerment and sustain themselves off the white dollar, the white culture, the white business, the white everything? Why wouldn't they want their own? Why is it okay that we have our own but nobody else can? I can tell you why. It's because you're fucking racist. I mean, this is the shit you'll go to your grandma's house down here in the South and see all types of shit, all types of souvenirs. You can go to any antique mall down here in the South and see why the fuck black people would want to get the fuck away from white people. I mean, that's a stupid question that you asked. And it's par for the course, BTW. Because using black people as gator bait, like literally throwing black babies and children to gators, and then turning that around as a means to joke against them or with your friends or family member about how you treat them, is exactly why the fuck they would want to get away from white people and do their own thing for their own empowerment, because we're not empowering them. So who the fuck's going to empower them themselves? It's common sense, dude. It's not common anymore, I get that. Because Caucasians ain't shit. I can't stand this. I hate my people with a burning passion. Because we're the only ones that do shit like this. We're the only ones. No other race has ever had the power to do shit like this and get away with it. Receipts all day. How many examples do you want me to pull to show why that KKK moniker is well earned for Caucasians? I got plenty of time. I got plenty of examples as well. You let me know which one you want to work with. Y'all just be coming on here saying what the fuck ever comes to your head. And then you run from the repercussions. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. And I can't believe I even have to say this much when I talk about white people. But I saw this on my last video in the comments and shit. And I'm so sick of hearing this shit. I am very well aware that not all white people are hateful and spiteful. I don't need motherfuckers telling me shit about not all white people. No fucking shit. No shit, dude. Nowhere in my statement did I say all white people. I just said whites. Stop acting like hit dogs don't holler around this motherfucker.
Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment? But when white people build an all-white neighborhood, all of a sudden they're the triple K. You want to move away from white people because it's healing, but when we do the same thing, all of a sudden it's a problem. Sounds like the real problem isn't segregation. It's the fact that you're not the one controlling it. Y'all don't want equality. Y'all want reverse Jim Crow.
Just some dumb motherfuckers. Man, I'm so sick and fucking tired of these stupid ass, dumbass, illiterate ass fucking racists hopping on social media and vomiting up a bunch of made up bullshit, projecting a bunch of horrible shit that they themselves have done many, many times. You know what? You want to see the quintessential example of systemic racism, oppression, white supremacy, and projectionism? Bet. I got you. I give you 30-year-old maniac white racist Scott Michael Hanna, who posted on X on July 31st, 2025, saying that he himself was organizing mobs to kill 30,000 black people in Cincinnati, Ohio by last Sunday. Watch this.
Miami Township man accused of threatening to kill tens of thousands of people in Cincinnati. News Center 7's Mike Campbell is live downtown. Mike, you were in federal court as the suspect faced a judge this afternoon.
And James, FBI agents say that Hanna actually posted his threats on X, formerly Twitter, and they say his posts seem to be in reference to a recent viral video out of Cincinnati where a large group of people appeared to target a couple for assault. Now, Hanna's post actually promoted even more violence. It appeared racially motivated, and it landed him here in federal court. Our cameras are not allowed in federal court, but I was inside for the hearing. Scott Hanna is charged with one count of making an interstate threat with intent to harm. Cincinnati.
Okay, but that isn't the part I want you to see. The part I want you to see is this. When I first heard about this story, I Googled it, and wouldn't you know it, a black man's face popped up. A white man just threatened to slaughter 30,000 black people in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Fox News had the diabolical audacity to slap a random black man's face on the headline like we're the monsters. Let me be crystal fucking clear here. White people are the monsters. You want to talk about domestic terrorism? Don't look at black people. Don't look at people with my skin. Look at your uncle. Look at your son. Look at your suburban neighbor who's buying the guns for the race war while grilling hot dogs and playing Toby Keith in the backyard. Every school shooter, white guy. Every mass shooter, white. Every cult leader, white. Every genocidal politician rewriting history to justify the slaughter of Palestinians, Haitians, and black Americans, white. But you can't handle the truth, can you? So you project. Like that dumbass bitch at the start of this video. You grab some random photo of a black dude from an unrelated story and lie to your readers. You manufacture a monster to distract from the very real evil in your own reflection. Fox News isn't a news outlet. It's a white nationalist propaganda machine. They'd rather incite genocide than admit their sons are psychotic. They'd rather paint us as the executioners while their own are sharpening blades behind closed doors. But not this time. We're not staying quiet. We're not giving you the benefit of the doubt. And we're not letting you paint us as monsters while your people are out here threatening mass slaughter like it's just another Sunday sermon. You created the monsters. You fed the monsters. And now it's coming for all of us. Don't you fucking dare look at us anymore. It's time for you to fucking look in the mirror. And while you're at it, get off your Abe-linking motherfucking high horses. You motherfuckers didn't free anybody. We earned our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in this goddamn country. And then, when you denied the children's children of former slaves, that being us, the generational wealth that we deserve by reneging on the promise that you made to black people to give them reparations for over 400 years of slavery, we didn't break. No, we kept moving forward. But then, because you're a bunch of fucking monstrous, hate-filled animals that refuse to leave black people alone, we still had to fight your fucking asses for civility. Did you know that, you stupid motherfuckers? Did you know that the Civil Rights Act was simply an act that forced you dumb fucks, you fucking animals, to be civil? Because you couldn't even do that. You needed the government to tell you to act like human beings. You needed legislation to stop burning crosses and lynching teenagers and bombing churches full of black girls. You needed the goddamn law to force you to sit next to us in a diner without spitting in our food. And even then, y'all couldn't handle it. You redlined our schools. You poured acid in our swimming pools. You bullied our children. You poisoned our water. You erased our history. You criminalized our existence. You killed our leaders. You infiltrated our movements. You used all forms of media to engage in psychological warfare against us. You flooded our streets with drugs, cops, tanks, and silence. And now, after all of that, you still have the unholy nerve to frame us as the threat. No, not this time. This is your legacy. This is your reflection. This is your monster, and you don't get to run from it by pasting a black man's face over your sins. We are not the villains. We are the fucking miracle. We are the soul of this place, and without us, it rots. You pathetic motherfuckers literally cannot exist without us, without someone to hate, someone to blame, someone to demonize. But guess what? We have washed our hands with you. So the next time one of you punk-ass, tiki torch, AR-15 fondling, basement-dwelling cowards wants to LARP your little race war online, remember this. You've always needed to lie about us, because if you ever told the truth, the whole goddamn world will turn against you. See you on the next post.
Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment? But when white people build an all-white neighborhood, all of a sudden they're the triple K.
Ah, Red X01, is this you? And all this build up in your video is for you to compare Freedom, Georgia to the whites only town being created in Arkansas. And you want to talk about hypocrisy. Well, I could tell by the videos on your page that nature and your inbred family tree have already conspired to give you 12 reasons. Allow me to share these uncomfortable truths with you, and hopefully you could find the 13th. Let's get it. First, Red, I do understand that when you have a reef as a family tree, the reading and comprehension genes probably skip generations at a time. And me giving you this information, you're probably not the one with the reading comprehension gene. Maybe you can run along and go find them. First, the hypocrisy of you talking about the hypocrisy of black people creating black neighborhoods is not missed on the historical narrative, because black neighborhoods were literally created in this country and in all oppressed countries by the oppressor class. Yeah, by law, as a matter of fact. The segregation of black people in this country has been codified in law stretching back to pre-slavery time, post-slavery time, all the way up into the black laws and Jim Crow. And you're going to mention something about reverse Jim Crow in your video, but Reverse Jim Crow required that we have access to federal laws to make it so. I don't expect you to understand the damn thing I just said, but moving right along.
You want to move away from white people because it's healing, but when we do the same thing, all of a sudden it's a problem.
What exactly are you all healing from? Healing from the fact that a 400-year head start has created a wealth disparity in this country that is not just prevalent, but overwhelming, as $1 million wealth gap now divides white families from black and Hispanic ones? That's what you're healing from? Wait. Are you all healing from a criminal justice system that disproportionately affects people because of the color of their skin? Wait a minute. You all created that justice system. Oh, wait a minute. I got another one. Wait a minute. Maybe you all are healing from a medical apartheid system that disproportionately negatively impacts black and brown people to the point that black women are 3.5 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth because of that system. Is that what you're healing from? Or maybe you all are healing from... You know what? I could do this all day. But I digress. Continue.
Problem. Sounds like the real problem isn't segregation. It's the fact that you're not the one controlling it. Y'all don't want equality. Y'all want reverse Jim Crow.
And there it is. Segregation and Jim Crow, and who controls it? Yeah, she did fix her mouth to say that in the same 3-second span. Like the civil rights movement in this country wasn't about ending and outlawing legal segregation. And who was in control at that time? Oh, and by the way, did I mention redlining and how it was used to control and segregate black neighborhoods? Redlining can be defined as discriminatory practices that consist of the systemic denial of services such as mortgage, insurance loan, and other financial services to residents of certain areas based on their race and ethnicity. Yeah, did I? If I didn't, here it goes. But keep going, Red. Keep going.
Jim Crow. So when white people move in, it's gentrification. When they move out, it's called white flight.
Red, if you just had a lick of comprehension, you might see how white flight and gentrification work hand in hand. Because gentrification is the process in which you go into an urban neighborhood and you develop it and you take it from a low value neighborhood to a high value neighborhood in a relatively short amount of time. The problem with that is that the neighborhood's original residents are often displaced because of the rising prices of cost of living and rent in that area. And white flight is the term given to the process in which white people fled those same neighborhoods that they're now moving back in to gentrify because they didn't want to be around black and brown people. And now the flip side of that, gentrification is now pushing black and brown people out of those areas because they can't afford it. So there is that. But continue. And we're just getting to the meat of your video.
Wonder where all this energy was for Freedom Georgia. These people don't want to live next to white people, but the second we make our own communities, then it's hate. Black-only schools are okay, apparently. Black-only neighborhoods is progress. Black-only events is culture. But the second it's white-only anything, these people just want to run, cancel it, burn it down.
Now, before I get to the Freedom Georgia initiative and what you're missing intentionally about it, it's interesting that you talked about burning towns down, because I would like to see your historical narrative where black people have burned predominantly white towns down, or white neighborhoods down to the ground, and we'll compare it to my list. On my list, I have Tulsa, Rosewood, Elaine, Arkansas, and countless others. But just going to leave this right here for your non-comprehension ass to look over and not have a clue what I'm talking about. Moving on to where your comparison between the Freedom Georgia initiative and an all-white town being created in Arkansas. And you would think before anybody started that subtle, passive-aggressive, racist rant to justify their racism and bigotry, they would have taken the time to go to the Freedom Georgia initiative page and say, Let me see the part where they're excluding white people. You would have saw them talk about economic empowerment, healing from racial trauma, building our own communities. But how are they going to build that community? By being welcoming. Yeah, welcoming. If you had some reading comprehension, you would have gotten to that part in the Freedom Georgia initiative. We welcome all allies. I know you don't know what that word means any more than you know what BIPOC means. But we welcome all allies of BIPOC and corporations that wish to build meaningful relationships with communities of color to connect with us for doing good. Doing good. Not to create a town that if it existed during the creation of the Green Book, that it would have been in the Green Book as a warning for what towns black people should avoid because they were sundown towns. That white-only sundown town being created in Arkansas is not anything new for this country. As a matter of fact, it's indicative of the history of this country. You can go to this database, historical database of sundown towns, and you can hit Arkansas right there. You can go, it's interactive. You can go to this database and hit Arkansas. And you will get a list of towns from A, D through H, H to N, and P to W of sundown towns in Arkansas that town is going to fit in with just nicely. Just remember also that the black schools, black colleges, and all you talk about were created because black people weren't allowed to participate in your white schools and your white colleges for hundreds of years. And it's no surprise that an initial review found nothing illegal in a proposed whites-only community in Arkansas. Nothing. But if you're going to talk, at least get your facts right. But what do we expect? When you have a wreath for a family tree. Now, you run along, have the day you deserve, and I am going to challenge my followers to tell me what is my favorite number when dealing with racists and bigots. See you in the comment section.
I think the lady has gotten enough reply from the people who have spoken in that video. There are some people who believe that blacks have not been subjected to discrimination and therefore they don't warrant any appreciation for the milestone they make. And this must not be the case. It is just because you don't understand your history very well or you are suffering from selective amnesia. You've decided to only think and talk about issues you find reasonable and palatable to speak about. But when it comes to hard and stinging issues about discrimination and racism towards black people, you are nowhere to be seen. So this lady needs proper history. Some white individuals may believe black Americans have not been subjected to significant discrimination due to lack of exposure to or understanding of systemic racism. Historical practices like redlining, mass incarceration, and discriminatory hiring are often downplayed or misunderstood, leading to perceptions that racial inequality has been largely achieved. Media portrayals of successful black individuals can reinforce this belief, creating a false narrative that systemic barriers are no longer existent. This perspective ignores ongoing disparities in wealth, education, and criminal justice, which are well documented but may not be visible in their immediate environments. The denial of discrimination can also stem from a belief on meritocracy, where some whites assume equal opportunities exist for all. They may view personal success as solely the result of individual effort, dismissing structural factors that disproportionately disadvantage black communities. This mindset often overlooks data such as the racial wealth gap, where the median white household has about 10 times the wealth of the median black household, or higher incarceration rates for black Americans for similar offenses. Such beliefs are reinforced by narratives that frame racism as a thing of the past, ignoring the persistence in subtle systemic forms. The expectation that black individuals should not be appreciated for little things often arises from a misunderstanding of affirmative action or diversity initiatives. Some white Some whites perceive these efforts as undeserved advantages, believing that they prioritize race over merit. This ignores how such programs aim to counteract centuries of systemic exclusion like discriminatory lending or educational inequalities, which have limited black access to opportunities. The resentment stems from a zero-sum mindset where gains for black communities are seen as losses for others rather than a step towards equality. I can tell you there are a lot of things that are really being misunderstood by some whites. They believe that when people talk about reparations for blacks, it is free money. They believe that when talking about affirmative action for blacks, it is looking at blacks and blacks are gaining, yet other races are losing. And this is not the case. If anything, blacks have lost at the expense of white America. They built America with no pay. They industrialized America without gaining any financial upward mobility. And they have continued to exist and support white-owned businesses without getting anything back in return. So if you look at this, you are able to see that blacks have been subjected to a lot of discrimination, yet this cannot be seen to some people who choose to believe what they want to believe and ignore realities and the truths that exist. This perspective is further fueled by cultural narrative that emphasizes personal responsibility over collective accountability. Some whites may feel that acknowledging ongoing discrimination implicates them personally, leading to defensive denial. Lack of interracial dialogue or exposure to black experiences can perpetuate these views, as can echo chambers in media or social media circles that downplay racism's impact. Education and open conversations about historical and current inequalities are critical to challenging these misconceptions. I think the best thing that this lady needs to do, she just has to go back to school or read her history books, because generally, if you look at it from the open perspective, you're able to see that she lacks an understanding of what blacks have gone through or who black people are in their existence. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. And if you're watching us for the first time, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share. Thank you, and let's meet on the next one.